Shub-Niggurath, the black sheep of the woods, I summon thee to do my Oh wait, it's a card game. It's actually pretty good. Hello, as you know, in between Total War Arena, I like to play a few interesting games, and I do like to bring the ones that I like to the audience. So we will still do the arena ones, but today we got something that captured me so much that the next thing I knew, I played it for 25 hours. While what you see here might not be what you imagined when you heard the term Cultist Simulator. The fact that I want to go home and play it as I'm writing the script really captures how captivating the game is. So gameplay wise, it is just putting right cards at the right place to do the things as you do activities such as work. Evil cult leaders still have to go to work too. Study, explore, talk, and dream. So if you're familiar with H.P. Lovecraft's work, you can imagine what this means. So you play a lot more like a cultist character from H.P. Lovecraft's work. You're still a mortal, but you've got quite a few interesting perks as you unlock them in the future. And there's no tutorial. First stuff are pretty intuitive, and the game is basically discovering what works and what doesn't. And it's pretty forgiving when it comes to what doesn't work. The things that kill you usually need 3 charges to do that, and there are lots of ways to deal with them, though do not be ashamed to consult Wiki because some of them are a bit specific. Still, when you discover things that weren't even on the wiki, you get a huge rush of explorative adrenaline. Or maybe I did because I'm the world's most boring man. Well, you start simple, and then the next thing you know, you're recruiting dozens of followers, organize raids, sacrifice humans, study dark lore, and avoid cops as well as a lot of other hijinks. But here the gameplay is simple and serves as a vessel for a subtle story that you write as you go. So you uncover more and more stuff about the game's lore, about these creatures, and things like that. But the story begins with you picking your background, and you always first start the game as an aspirant, a recent graduate who has to work dead-end jobs to make ends meet, and encounters an old man in the hospital who leaves you a package when he dies that gives you the direction to the occult and highly illegal bookshop, as well as your first acquaintance who you can recruit to form your first cult. The story is really in details. There's a story about your job or jobs, commissions that you take, the dreams that you experiment with, the expeditions which you can discover by exploring with various things are marvelous and require you to have skilled followers and money, so you need to have everything combined and supporting one another like a well-oiled machine. Even then, you can still strive for your goal while you do your daily tasks. The way it imitates real life on how you must juggle your work and your personal life, study and sleep responsibilities hits so close to home. I'm as immersed in this as a deep-sea anglerfish in water. It is very similar in its tone and a lot of things to Sunless Sea in that regard, but I find this one a little better in terms of story because story was a bit more subtle, and unlike the Sunless Sea, a wrong answer to a completely arbitrary option does not cripple your progress. The game is a roguelike, but it's quite forgiving, as I mentioned. For example, you can get sick and have one of your health points be afflicted. You got 180 seconds to heal it using Dream, which is mostly used to farm resources in my playthrough, with Vitality, which is pretty easy to get. Even if you forget about it and let it rot, you can still heal it with arcane rituals that are unlocked later in the game. As such, when you die, you know it was your mistake. The drawbacks, however, is that it is a story-heavy roguelike game, so it might feel repetitive when you fail, so starting over kinda makes it a lot more annoying than starting over in any other game. Other than that, this sort of gameplay will certainly not appeal to everyone. Not to mention the core gameplay is literally a waiting game, and your core engagement is putting cards in the right place. Though that is true on the surface, the real engagement of the game is to form a plan and see it unfold despite the challenges and the alterations you have to make because you did not have the right cards or had too many cards that you did not need at the time. So you need to look deeper to really enjoy this game. Presentation wise, the graphics are simple. It's literally a bunch of cards with stuff written on it. And you do have to organize your table in a way that you will not have stuff spread around too much and forget what you were doing, end up wasting time or even losing the whole game because of something you missed on a messy table. The music is fairly good, as you can hear it here, but does need more tracks. After 15 hours it kind of got repetitive, but it was still well selected and it's all well blended together. If you do decide to get the game and start it, here are my tips. 1. Focus on yourself. No one likes a weak, dumb, and dispassionate cultist or a person, so sort that out before you do anything. As you've noticed, that's a good advice in life, in real life as well. It kinda makes it a bit more immersive. 2. Keep your board organized. In my first few playthroughs, I died simply because of dread cards that were lying around in random places that I did not see later on. I did not even realize that fascination can kill you as well, which I did not have a place for. So make sure you have a section of the board for books, currencies, cult members, artifacts, pieces of lore, and other stuff. Otherwise, it's very easy to miss things and lose hours of progress. 3. Upgrade and initiation ceremonies can consume negative mental effects. Most of the things that I mentioned that can kill you are those influences, those mental effects, which you can use as catalysts for your initiation, and it also consumes them. In my current playthrough, I have found a quick way of getting rid of mental status effects. Instead of creating their counters, I would simply use them as an ingredient. So that really solves the issue, and I get to upgrade a cult member. So 4, to go from a normal dude to an actual cultist, you will need lore. And by the end game, you'll need a lot of it, which you can get by studying books, which you can buy, or get it from expeditions, which you can get by exploring Secret History's lore. So when you ran out of things to explore, just farm Secret Histories using your dreams and then keep on exploring them. That's the most boring part of the game, by the way. Try and fail and learn. This game is really deep, and even hours later you can learn a new mechanic that can really alter your goals, so a few dozen deaths are all good. In fact, you can even roleplay as the same person. For example, you start as an aspirant and gone insane because of fascination, then picked a physician as the next one. Guess what? According to the actual story, your patient is your last character. But would it not be a more believable plot twist that you lost your memory and learned psychology in the asylum than believe that you were the last patient as the mind tries to defend itself from the horror of its past life? I like to think that, which made me ease into my next playthrough a lot easier, which is the one that I'm playing right now. Besides, from the pay you get from medical is so low, you might as well be a psych assistant, so not much of a need for a degree there, which is why I think that headcanon is very plausible. Regardless, I think it's a good game. I enjoyed it quite a bit. If you like something with a different kind of gameplay and a good story with Lovecraftian vibes, I suggest you check it out.